Barakatham Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rika Kadash. Special thanks to Great Millstone. Double honors to the chief apostle, apostles, bishops, and elders who rule and teach well. 1 Timothy 5:17. Salutation and blessings to the Akim and Aqua scattered abroad. James 1 verse 1, 1 Peter 1 verse 1. I titled the message, The Elders at the Gate. Now this message is specifically designed for you so-called Latinos, Negroes, and Native Indians, the true 12 tribes of Israel's descendants, according to Genesis chapter 49, the northern and southern kingdom, who were separated from your heritage in 722 BC, the northern kingdom, and roughly 70 AD, the southern kingdom. Shalom, O Israel. The book of Amos, chapter 5, verse 10. Now we need these rivers of living water as we see deception at an all-time high out here across the earth. Basic light, edification, and nourishment are needed for the true house of David. As this crooked ass motherfucking devil, Esau Edom, the so-called white man, is pushing on as if this thing is going to last forever, as he's moving into his all-time killing spree out across the earth, as you can see. And for you so-called Latinos, Negroes, and Native Indians, you need to be careful how you walk and live, not as unwise men, but as wise men, making the most of your time, because the days are in fact evil. But this crooked ass devil's been exposed big time, and now he's out on a killing spree on the low. Amos chapter 5 verse 10. They hate him that rebuketh in the gate, and they abhor him that speaketh uprightly. Now for the elect of the Lord, who possess that spirit of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rika Kadash, and who adhere to the testimony of Yahweh Shai, which is the spirit of prophecy, Revelations 19:10. Yahweh Shai himself said that, marvel not that they hate you, they hated him first. And so as you have this truth during these dark times, don't be surprised that even your closest loved ones, in the most subtle sense, are going to hate you. Alright? The Most High has put that spirit of prophecy embedded deep within your bones and spirit. And so you're examining, scrutinizing, and dissecting everything down to the smallest morsel, or in between the smallest crack and cranny and crevice of anything, exposing and shedding light upon all the darkness upon the earth. And so you're going to be hated. Amos chapter 5 verse 10. They hate him that rebuketh in the gate, and they abhor him that speaketh uprightly. Two-thirds of you so-called Latinos, Negroes, and Native Indians scattered across the earth don't possess this light, this truth, this doctrine of the eternal kingdom. And so when it comes time to get rid of the false gods and abominable idols that you're holding on to, and to try to grasp this wisdom, you got nothing to say. Proverbs 24 verse 7. Wisdom is too high for a fool, and the opening at the gate, he has nothing to say. Now, I've titled this lesson, The Elders at the Gate. For many reasons. In olden times, during war, in times of severity and famine, it was hard to get in and out of a city. A city was built behind a huge wall, and it normally had one entrance. And that entrance was accessed through a gate. Joshua chapter 6 verse 1. Now Jericho was straitly shut up because of the children of Israel. No one went in, and no one came out. That opening in the city wall, that gate, was often protected by barriers and towers. It was also a place of judicial decisions, announcements, and trade. Proverbs 24 verse 7. Wisdom is too high for a fool. He openeth not his mouth in the gate. Now, as this spiritual truth is being released out across the earth, that spirit of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah Kadash, the unlearned and the fool have nothing to say. The word says that the Lord will give you elect a mouth that your enemies can neither gainsay nor resist. They're not going to come up against the spirit of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah Kadash, and those are the facts. Proverbs 24, verse 7. Wisdom is too high for a fool. In the assembly at the gate, he has nothing to say. 1 Corinthians chapter 1, 20 and 21. Where is the wise? Where is the scribe? Where is the disputer of this world? Hath not Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai made foolish the wisdom of this world? For after that in the wisdom of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, the world by wisdom knew not Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. It pleased the Most High by the foolishness of preaching to save them that believe. Two-thirds of the Israelites out here, the true Israelites, of you so-called Latinos, Negroes, and Native Indians, are not going to believe the 100% truth of this Holy Bible. You're too trapped up in the gifts and pleasures and things going on out there. You've been blinded. 2 Corinthians 4, verse 4. 2 Corinthians 4, 3 and 4. But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost, in whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Hamashiach Yahushai, who is the image of the Most High, should shine unto them. Now the reason the two-thirds of you true Israelites are in unbelief and disbelief is that their hope is not in Yahweh Shai's soon return with the holy angels, Matthew 24, 30 and 31. Their hope is in this world. And that's why Proverbs 24, verse 7 puts them in disarray with nothing to say. Proverbs 24, verse 7. Wisdom is too high for a fool. In the assembly at the gate, he has nothing to say. When these scoffers and mockers and doubters and haters get riled up and come upon this truth, they're still silenced and have nothing to say because their hope isn't in the eternal kingdom. 2 Corinthians 3 verse 12. Seeing then that we have such a hope, we are very bold. And that's what you see out across the earth. Boldness, coupled with true humility and intense scrutiny. That's what the elders at the gate possess. They got spiritual vision and spiritual discernment. Their hope isn't in this fucked up, wretched, and barren land known as AKA America, where the majority of you so-called Latinos, Negroes, and Native Indians are gathered. Most of your bodies are lifeless out across the street. Revelations 11 verse 8. Over here in Mystery Babylon, also known as modern day Sodom and Egypt. And so you don't have that hope that's needed, nor that boldness. So when this truth comes out, which is needed in every respect of your everyday life, you're naked. You're not clothed with that spirit of immortality. The eternal kingdom is not within. And so you got nothing to say. Amos. Chapter 2, verse 16. For you scoffers, mockers, and doubters out there. Amos 2:16. Even the bravest warrior in that day shall flee away naked, saith Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rekah Kadash. Now, these precepts are priceless. If you possess that spirit of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rekah Kadash, and the elders at the gate are out there doing the work of the Lord, making full proof of their ministry. 2 Timothy 4 verse 5. And so in every aspect of their life, they're looking, searching, and seeking out ways to bring forth that next message of light for the true believer in Yahweh. Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rekah Kadash. Matthew 25:23. His Lord said unto him, Well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of the Lord. And you true Israelites out there, the hopefully elect, know according to Nehemiah 8 verse 10 that the joy of the Lord is your strength. Knowing as well according to Zechariah 4 verse 6 that it's not by might nor by power but by that spirit of Yahweh. Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rekah Kadash, that anything is accomplished, saith Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rekah Kadash. And so don't count your ministry or your talents or your gifts that you're able to produce to the body as useless and worthless. They're meaningful and have great use to the master. Zechariah 4 verse 10 is the destruction's coming. All right? That's what the true men of the Lord are out here sharing and teaching and prophesying. that this wicked kingdom, Mystery Babylon, aka America, must, and will be destroyed through fire. Zechariah four verse 10. For who hath despised the day of small events? For they shall rejoice and shall see the plummet and the hand of Zerubbabel with those seven. They are the eyes of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, which run to and fro through the whole earth. Those are those eyes of the Lord that are in every place, beholding the evil and the good. Proverbs 15:3. Those are the eyes of the Lord that are upon this sinful kingdom, which the Lord is going to destroy off the face of the earth. Amos 9 verse 8. Those are those eyes of the Lord that keep watch over knowledge, but frustrate the words of the unfaithful. Proverbs 22 verse 12. And those unfaithful hate you, elect of the Lord, but remember to hold on to solid, strong, mature doctrine, the solid meat of the 100% truth of these scriptures, Hebrews 5:14, as this meat of the word is for the mature, the elect. Because starting with the mockers out there, the modern day church folk who disbelieve and doubt this 100% report of America's destruction, they can't gainsay nor resist the truth of this word. Proverbs 24 verse 7, wisdom is too high for a fool. That wisdom being personified as Yahweh Shai himself, and the spirit of prophecy, the testimony of Yahweh Shai. Proverbs 24 verse 7, wisdom is too high for a fool, and the assembly at the gate, he has nothing to say. Now the facts are the facts. We're not looking at modern day leadership from a governmental perspective. This crooked country has been on a killing spree for years now. 92% of its existence has been saturated with war, killing, lies, deceit, and desperate measures to continually conquer, take over, and colonize territories across this earth. That's Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Who in spirit, he saw his father Jacob or Isaac dying, Salaki. And he said here in Genesis 27:41, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. And that's that crooked motherfucking devil out here in the most subtle sense, introducing Jacob's trouble on a subtle level right now. And at its maximum end, it's going to come out with full rage and try to destroy all you Israelites. Revelations 12, verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he has but a short time. Everything's speeding up. This crooked devil, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, knows his time has expired. So he's moving at a rapid rate right now in a subtle sense. And although everything appears natural and moving forward and splendid as the wife and kids, Pops hooks up the speedboat and they head up to the lake for the weekend, but nope. They're actually heading towards a lake of fire. Don't understand it. Matthew 24:22. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. For the elect of the Lord's sake, things are speeding up. These days are being shortened. And this devil's making his move quickly. That MOTB, that mark of the beast, the microchip, you can see it being concocted and conjured into place to where they're going to force you people to take that microchip or starve to death. The elect of the Lord can see it. The rest have been blinded. Romans 11, verse 7. What then? Israel has not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election have obtained it, and the rest were blinded. 2 Corinthians 4, verse 4 again. As wisdom is too high for a fool, in the assembly at the gate, that fool has nothing to say. 2 Corinthians 4, verse 4. In whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Hamashiach Yahushai, who is the image of the Most High, should shine unto them. And so as we see the destruction imminent, close by, hanging right over our heads and at hand, 2 Corinthians 5, verse 11. Knowing therefore the terror of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, we persuade men. We are made manifest unto Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. And I trust also are made manifest in your consciences. The thing is, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai is a terrible power. He's going to fuck up, penalize, put in pain, cut, slash, stick, destroy, torture, capture, eliminate, deteriorate, disintegrate, demoralize, dismember, detach, disband, displace, detour, and demobilize all opposition to that great name of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah Kadash. Proverbs 24 verse 7, wisdom is too high for a fool. In the assembly at the gate, he has nothing to say. In olden times, the elders sat around that entrance to the city and they held court. Law was discussed and dispersed. They held open court daily. And when the fool came around, his mouth was shut. He had nothing to say. But the elect of the Lord know these rivers of living water are going to keep them bold. Hebrews 10:35, casting not away their confidence, which has great recompense of reward. Now that confidence is the 100% faith that everything the Lord said he would do will be accomplished. In the Greek, that's apobolete, not away thy parousia. Apobolete, to throw off or cast out. Cast not away your confidence, your parousia, you elect of the Lord, your freedom of speech, the liberality that's within your spirit. Don't throw it away, but hold on to it. There's a great recompense of reward. Proverbs 1 verse 5, a wise man will hear and will increase learning, and a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsels. Point being, the 2/3 are out here right now. You can see them. They're not doing the work of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Wal Rakah Kadash, but they're more concerned with this earth and the present pleasures of this day and age we're living in. Proverbs 18 verse 9, he that is slack in his work is brother to him that destroys. So, as we're focused on the elders at the gate, we want to understand that these open rebukes, as you sit complacently out here, not understanding that destruction is right in front of you. The simple have no idea what's right before them. Proverbs 19 verse 29, judgments are prepared for scorners, and stripes for the back of fools. The Lord's coming back. He's going to punish the wicked. Proverbs 26 verse 3. A whip for the horse, a bridle for the ass, and a rod for the fool's back. Now in the eternal kingdom, the elect of the Lord are going to possess that rod of iron. And in our eternal rulership, the job's going to be done with a supernatural makeup. First John chapter 3 verse 2. Beloved, it is not yet clear what we shall be, but we know that when he appears, we too shall be made like him, for we shall see him as he is. In that moment, in a twinkling of an eye, 1 Corinthians 15:51, when Yahushua returns, we're going to have that same spiritual makeup, that embodiment, just like our great king and high priest. And the job's going to get done with the spiritual body, with the rod of iron in our hand. There's going to be no resistance whatsoever. Revelations 2:27. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron. As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father. This thing's going down just as the Father has planned it for his elect. And we're going to get that rod of iron in that day. And I ought to focus on this verse here in Revelations 19, which amplifies that rod of iron. Yet, got to understand that it's not by might nor by power, but by my spirit, saith the Lord. This crooked devil, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, as a whole, we've never been able to take him down in any type of idea or plan on putting together a physical army to do it. It's never ever going to be able to be accomplished, nor has it ever been accomplished in the past, because the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but spiritual, to the mighty breaking down of strongholds. 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 4. 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 5. Being our mantle, casting down every wicked and vain imagination that exalts itself against the image or knowledge of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai. And so we're going to need some help in these upcoming days, as we see the trouble right in front of us. The prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. Now we're not trying to fight this devil with our hands or any type of machinery. We're looking unto Yahushai and the holy angels who are going to get the job done properly. Daniel 12 verse 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, ever to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. Now those that thought upon the Lord's name, a book of remembrance is being made for them. Malachi 3:16. And as Michael stands up, that great archangel, that great archangel, that great archangel, I'm not perfect. I just put this thing out there as the Spirit gives it to me. Understand that it's not by might nor by power, but by my Spirit, saith the Lord. But in the eternal kingdom, Revelations 19:15, and out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations, and he shall rule them with the rod of iron. And he treadeth the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of Almighty Yahweh. This eternal kingdom's going to be splendid. For eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, neither has it entered into the hearts and minds of men, the things Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah Kadash hath in store for those that love him. So, for the elect of the Lord out here, we don't want to be overwhelmed. Don't be. Let me repeat that. Don't be overwhelmed. As you see these days moving by rapidly, funds might be low, prices might be high, with no one on your side. Understand that prayer, that mountain-moving faith, can get the job done. No anxiety, but pray. 1 Thessalonians 5:17. Never cease from praying, and don't be overwhelmed. This devil loves it. You so-called Latinos, Negroes, and Native Indians, so-called you true Israelites, according to Genesis chapter 49, get out there and you're skipping and hopping and moving around, sprees, moving with anxiety and a lust of the flesh. This devil loves it. He's got you right where he wants you at that time. He can catch you up and catch you slipping, because you're not walking in the Spirit. If we live in the Spirit, let us also walk in the Spirit. Galatians 5:25. But the point is, as we're out here in these fleshly suits, these earthen vessels, 2 Corinthians 4 verse 7, as we have these treasures in these earthen vessels, we can't get overwhelmed during these days where things seem discouraging and depressing. We got to use that weapon that we have, that spiritual warfare, our prayer life. We got to use that prayer life with the utmost intensity for the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Does everything by prayer and nothing without it. Philippians chapter 4 verse 6. Be careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Wabrakah Kadash, knowing that the Father, He's a merciful power. And as His attributes are sudden, distinct, accurate, and with great terror behind them, if that mercy's not accompanied, remember that we have so much to be thankful for. Every day He's blessed us to live, and will continue to bless us to live, Lord willing. If we look unto the hills from whence cometh our help, for our help cometh from Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rekah Kadash, and no other entity whatsoever. Philippians 4 verse 6, be careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rekah Kadash. So don't be overwhelmed or anxious, but in everything by prayer along with supplication, with thanksgiving, let those things you need or that you're requesting to the Father to be made known unto Him. Coming to that throne of grace, or coming to that throne of the Father boldly, that we might obtain mercy in the time of need. Habakkuk 2 verse 1. The wicked, let me put this out there first, that the wicked watcheth the righteous and seeketh to slay him. So this devil, Esau Edom, the so-called white man, he's in the back of the cut, peeping everything out, hoping that you'll make your moves every day without that solid prayer life. That way he can catch you slipping. Habakkuk 2 verse 1. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. Proverbs 24 verse 7, understanding the elders at the gate. Proverbs chapter 24 verse 7, wisdom is too high for a fool, and the assembly at the gate, he has nothing to say. Amos chapter 5 verse 10, it's line upon line, precept upon precept. In the spirit, you got to put these precepts together and fight. Don't be overwhelmed, but fight the good fight of faith. Amos chapter 5 verse 10. They hate him that rebuketh in the gate, and they abhor him that speaketh uprightly. This isn't the time to get weak. We might have physical ailments. We might be getting older. Things might seem to be not functioning as we would hope. But understand, we're moving from glory to glory in the spirit of Yahweh. Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Bahashem Rakah Kadash. Proverbs 24 verse 5. A wise man is strong, yeah. A man of knowledge increaseth strength. For by wise counsel thou shalt make thy war. And in multitude of counselors there is safety. Proverbs 21:31. The horse is prepared against the day of battle, but safety is of Yahweh. Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Bahashem Rakah Kadash. So we want that mark of exemption. Ezekiel 9 verse 4. Through standing solely on that name of Yahweh. Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Bahashem Rakah Kadash. Which is a strong tower that the elect run unto, knowing that wisdom is too high for a fool. He openeth not his mouth in the assembly at the gate. Luke 21:36. This whole thing is about the life and times while he was on the earth as well as eternally of our great King and High Priest Yahweh Shai. So we're not leaving anything out regarding the gospel accounts. Luke 21:36. Watch ye therefore and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man. Don't be deceived. Don't be overwhelmed. Don't be discouraged, you hopeful elect. Knowing that your labor in the Lord is not in vain in the Lord. Roughly paraphrasing 1 Corinthians 15:58. Understanding that you need to be steadfast and immovable during these last days we're living in. And don't be deceived. Matthew 24 verse 4. And Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceives you. This devil's not going to bow down, open up, or admit to the 100% truth of the Holy Bible. He already took out 14 books, the Apocrypha, to leave out your chronological, the times and dates, and your geographical locations and regions of dispersions and existence for a great portion of your captivities, or for various years where you were held under this crooked devil's hand. And so understand, not only is he on a killing spree, but he's been loosed for a little season. And he's out there deceiving the earth. Revelations 20 verse 3. And cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should not deceive the nations no more, till that 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that he must be loosed a little season. He was ran up into the Caucasus Mountains, while you true Israelites had a rulership over the known earth. And when the time that the Most High saw it necessary, loose this crooked devil after that 1,000 years were fulfilled. And now he's been loosed for a little season. Revelations 13, 15 and 16. He's not done doing his dirt. Revelations 13, 15 and 16. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. The true men of the Lord aren't going to take that microchip. We know this devil is out here moving as if everything is fine, not understanding that he's met his end. Proverbs chapter 24, verse 7. Wisdom is too high for a fool. He openeth not his mouth in the gate. Barakatah Yahweh, Kehalel Yahweh, Barakatham Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah Kadash. Special thanks to the chief apostle of Great Millstone, sincerely. All the other apostles, bishops, and elders who teach and rule well. Salutation and blessings of the Akim and Aqua, scattered abroad. Shalom, O Israel.